Yeah, now stand and cheer for your Basketball Weekly.
Welcome to another edition talking Basketball Weekly. I am Mark.
I am Paul. Hello.
And we've got another guest, but it's the same guest because we're recording these back to back. It's our good friend Eliott.
Eliott is back.
Thought I'd just hang around.
Hanging out, loitering in the studio. So we're going for the NBA. We've just wrapped up on the BBL. That's finished for this year. If you haven't kind of listened to that episode, why not go check it out?
It's our last BBL episode, and we're a few away for the end of the 2023-2024 NBA podcast, weekly things. You know what I mean?
Put your teeth back in, Mark.
I just lost my train of thought there. Oh dear.
Nice
Right,
one.
where are we going to start?
Right, let me get this out of the way so you can moan.
Oh no, there's no way I'm starting with that team. If you start with that team, I'm going to punch you in the face. I'm literally going to punch you in the face.
Why?
If you start,
Right,
I'm not even going to
on
say.
the East Coast. We'll start on the East Coast then.
Yeah.
So the Celtics have gone through. Who cares?
The Celtics have gone through. They had a great season, best season in the NBA, and they are now in the Eastern Conference Finals. That is what you should have said.
63.
How many conference finals in a row is that for them now?
I want to say it was 7.
It's
Wasn't it?
pretty
Something
crazy stat.
Yeah, they didn't because it was it Jason Tatum has been in 6 out of the last 7, or sorry, maybe it's 6.
Yeah,
It's something like that because he missed 3 years ago. I think it's the third in a row or something.
It's crazy.
But that's that. I mean, coming on to that with Tatum, but that Boston, I won't say it's a sweep, but they shouldn't have lost that one to the Cavs personally. But 4-1,
Yeah.
they dispatched them quickly. But it does come on to something I'll talk about later with the Celtics. But I just want to say that I think they get a bit of a bad press because there's a big expectation on them to win.
It's they being the winningest team in the NBA. They're always going to be up there, aren't they?
Yeah, but it's not fair because everyone sort of forgets that Tatum is like still mid-20s.
Yeah,
Still a young guy, or still a young team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And him and Jalen, I think, have been together for the last 3 years, I think it is.
3 or 4, yeah.
And look, what an opportunity! No spoilers. Well, it doesn't matter if we say spoilers now, does it?
No, not really.
Look, with the reigning champs going out, look, what an opportunity for them now to make that final step.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people saying, however, exactly going back to what Mark was saying though, because of that opportunity they've got, if they don't win an NBA title, is it a bust this season? That's like how people are looking at it. But to get to the conference finals is a massive achievement.
Yeah, but when you're like 8 games away from the NBA title, which is what it is, but also, you know what, the one thing is I'm definitely seeing in these playoffs, I'm going to say the word thirst.
Yeah.
You got young guys like thirsty for this championship. Like Anthony Edwards, should we call him Anthony Jordan?
The
At
rumors
the
are out
moment. Like it's there's a couple of players, and I think we were talking to each other. I don't know if it was this morning or yesterday or something, and Mark was like, do you realize that one of these 4 guys is going to win their first NBA championship ring?
Awesome, isn't it?
It is.
That's a great
it's amazing
thought.
You've mentioned it so many times in your interviews in the podcast of the baton being all torch being passed on.
Mm-hmm.
This is a season where we know it's going to happen. It's not going to be an existing champ that's going to win it. One of these guys is
If you say that guy's name, I may have to punch you in the face as well. No one say his name. We go for a whole podcast without saying that name. Look, we want to move on. Let's talk about the young guys. Right, so I do not condone violence in any way whatsoever.
However, he's now threatened to punch both of us within the first 5 minutes.
I'm just going to stroke my hat. That's fine. It's good.
Yeah.
I feel good.
Anyway, so look, Boston are in the Eastern Conference Finals, and after their very strong season, look, they're current favourites to end up in the NBA Championship Final, and I don't think anyone would be surprised if we see him there.
No.
But there have been a lot of surprises on that Eastern Conference. And are you about to go on to the next one?
Yeah, this is it. So the Celtics secured their space, but they secured their space early. So they actually secured their space on the 15th of May. They'll come back to this. So the next one, you had Indiana against the Knicks.
Tough series.
I thought the Knicks had it.
Yep.
I genuinely thought they had it. And when they were doing that whole meme where they were shouting,
a real tough series.
They were shouting at like Reggie went to the garden and everyone was kicking off at Reggie. You had Ben Stiller abusing him and then.
But that's what's great about basketball.
Yeah,
that's what's great about home venues, and a bit like what we're talking about on the show. That's the stuff you got to embrace. You got to embrace. This is going in a Madison Square Garden is like going into a lion's den. Like it's Indiana isn't a million miles away from that. Like they're up for it as well.
Up the road.
Yeah, and those Pacer fans are nutters as well.
Yeah.
They're really noisy. I know there's players who've gone in there and they've been like, I thought I was going to get lynched up.
I mean, the malice at the palace happened for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did you see the tweet that Reggie Miller put out? And it was a tweet or an Instagram thing or something. And it was the picture of Josh Hart leaning in when he was reminding him exactly what the fans were shouting to Reggie.
Yeah.
Reggie took it in good spirit. His response was that picture after the Indiana Pacers beat the Knicks in Game 7. And he put, this is when the series changed. Brunson was a true baller and probably the best player in the playoffs. But you boys can all heal up together on some beautiful beaches in Cancun. Please enjoy. Hashtag Pacers-Knicks rivalry lives.
It is a great rivalry.
But people were literally in the stadium when we were talking about fans in the other show. The fans all had Reggie shirts on.
With the choke.
And they were like, New York's choked because they've just let us into this series. And they were all like, you're going to choke again. And then when they won, all the fans are just doing this to New York in Madison Square Garden. You're like...
Can I just add 2 points on
amazing.
That? You got to say that Brunson left... You got to highlight he left the game and he had a fractured left hand and didn't come back. But also, and I'm going to make this point about New York. I'm not overly surprised because it's in a huge city, a bit like Orlando, where there's lots of visitors and stuff like that. But in Denver, same thing happened. The traveling away fans, the amount of away fans that are going in it, and it's great. It's because it's making that atmosphere where someone makes a huge shot and you're like, man, is this like...
Are we away? What's
going on?
You'll hear a cheer and you think, oh, normally it's like someone scores, Derek Moss.
Pin drops.
And that's it. And this is... I think, hang on.
You think, like,
hang on, but he's at the front.
Team?
Why is like someone on the opposition and then go, oh, the home advantage is there, but it's not quite as...
And you have it in England, especially... Definitely in British basketball, definitely in football, where they're travelling away fans. We've seen it in the BBL.
Yep.
We've seen it in, in football as well. But where they're travelling fans, because there's only 200 or 300 of them, they are up for it.
They rally together more, don't they?
They rally together, and they're sometimes louder. Sometimes louder than the home fans who are just sitting there. But yeah, I actually think it's great seeing that.
It's good
I
for
really
the sport.
like it.
Yeah.
I really
think it's
like it.
Good to see New York performing well. They've been an underperforming team for so long. To get to where they have this season, where you believe that New York were going to do well. At no point did you think, oh, they're just going to blow it in the first round like they've done.
I believe
countless times. It's something that I was going to comment earlier. Every team seems to have that one young dog player who is giving it everything. Brunson was that for the Knicks this season. Don't get me wrong, as a team, all of those guys, the Villanova trio, all played really well. Hart, Brunson, and his name's gone. Italian sounding surname. What is it?
Vincenzo or Devontae. I can't think. Yeah,
Dellavedova, is it?
Yeah,
Mark, you should know this.
Can't come back to me.
No, I butchered. Last time I said it, I actually butchered it.
You're a disgrace.
But he's going to be playing for the Italian team in the Olympics randomly.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Oh, fair play.
But just to let you know, there's a reason that my mic has got this. What did you call it? A sound muffler or something like that, didn't you? Mine's bright yellow. Because at a certain point, mine got old and I went, I want Indiana Pacers yellow mark.
fair play.
They're doing something.
They are doing something.
Now they're in the Eastern Conference Finals.
They got Rick Carlisle at the head coach for another team previously I'm not allowed to mention, but he's won a chip, and Rick's one of the most successful coaches in wins versus losses.
Win to loss ratio.
His wins to loss ratio is one of the best. And yeah, so he's quite a decorated coach. He knows what he's doing, and he's put a team together.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they've done there with Indiana. More than anything else, they've really got a team, because you look at the stats for their scoring on that game. They're all 17, 15, 17, 20, 25, 26. They're all contributed. There's no one just slacking
no one
off.
Standout player that's.
Whereas because Brunson was injured, there's your he's got the stat for 4 40-point games in a row or something.
Yeah.
You think, that's why New York are still in there.
Him.
If he's not in there, and as soon as he breaks his hand, that's it. He's toast.
But it's a funny one. Now, I've always loved New York. They've always been one of the NBA teams that I've really liked and followed. Part of me thinks with Brunson getting injured, they're almost better off not getting through to the conference finals, because what were they going to do without him in the finals? They're going to struggle, like you were saying.
Yeah.
You're almost better off, like Reggie was saying, healing up, recouping, and going running it back next year. If they'd gone to the finals, they're against the Celtics. They're going to get swept.
Josh Hart had the most rebounds of any player in the playoffs to date. I think it was. It's like 124 or 134 or something like that.
His coast-to-coast plays are crazy.
Yeah, and because those guys played at Villanova and they know that rhythm that they play, and that is when they brought that across the team. There was the clip that went around at the beginning of the year where they said to Josh Hart, they said to Brunson, "Hey, we've got Josh Hart. we've secured him for the Knicks," and he was so excited.
Yeah.
He was so excited. And then they're like, "Oh, do you want Dante as well?" And they're like, "Wow, okay, like there's us three. We've played together. Like I know this rhythm. I know how it's going to work." Fast forward to now, they were just one of the best teams. So
I would say you have to give it to the Pacers that they won every quarter, even though Brunson
they did.
was
100%
came out of the game. They won every quarter and they started strong. I can't help,
and the previous game as well.
This
is just my opinion. I can't draw. You mentioned Reggie Miller. I can't help drawing similarities to that.
To that series against them.
That team.
Yeah.
Because they're showing that. I mean, definitely a bit like the Knicks as well. It was a really physical series back in that time, and this series was really, really physical as well. And it was just, I love that basketball.
Yep.
I genuinely,
even though sometimes it gets 4 teeth knocked out.
Well, I generally wrote them off. I thought, look, the Knicks.
You had the Knicks or the Pacers?
I thought the Knicks were just going to roll the Pacers because the Knicks had so much momentum.
You
going
predicted
into
4-0, Mark. You predicted a sweep.
Because the Knicks were on such a roll right at the end of that season. It was like, you're not stopping them. And then when they came out the gate, and he's like, yeah, that's it. They're rolling them. There's no question on it. And they opened that door, and Indiana absolutely capitalized on it. So all credit to them. But that now,
don't forget, Indiana got to the final of the NCAA. Well, I'm not calling it the NBA Cup.
Yeah,
they got to the final of that. It's just because they played well over that little period, but they had a hard run to get to the final as well.
Was it Milwaukee there in the first round, wasn't it?
They played. They played every team in the top 5 with the exception, top 6 maybe, except for Orlando.
That's crazy.
To get to the final.
And Lakers had a bump.
I don't think the Lakers played anyone in the top 5. It was something like that. It was, and that's what was great about it. It was every game was Game 7.
But then, just going back to the in-season tournament.
The NBA Cup, you mean?
Sorry, the NBA Cup. The powers
they should rename it.
The powers that be in the NBA did it because they wanted viewership. If you've got one of the biggest market teams like the Lakers getting through to the finals, you want people watching that game. I hate to say it. Are they going to intentionally say, right, at this period in the season, this is what we're going to do to try and push them through to the finals? We'll give them a run.
Yeah.
Because the games were. It was only wasn't it the semi-final and the final that were actually not regular season games. They were counting towards the regular season.
Yeah.
So what the people that set up the matchups did they set it up so that run into the in-season tournament for the Lakers was an easier one? Did they set it up thinking,
God,
right,
it's getting all controversial, isn't
Wow.
We'll also, well, but even for the Pacers, they really didn't have a right to be in that final. It should have been.
If it was rigged,
Milwaukee up
it would have
against
been,
Lakers.
If it was rigged, it would be in Lakers Celtics.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. You can't help.
The Celtics had a terrible run in that tournament, though, didn't they?
Yeah, but you can't help look at certain stats like free throws. Get how many free throws certain teams get into line. You can't help look at that.
Zero
and
turnovers he had, wasn't it, Halliburton?
Oh, he's done it so many times this season.
Yeah. Like his stats of being in his role.
Yeah.
I think is probably the right way of phrasing it. It's easy to throw a stat out there, but if you put it in, what's that person's role in the team?
For a point guard to have no turnovers.
Yeah, no turnovers, great efficiency, great rate of shots, shot selection, assists. Like he absolutely was playing out of his skin. And obviously psychologically that would have helped him saying, I can do this and lead the team.
Yeah.
Then they added Siakam not long after. That's you adding your level of physicality and someone who's just penetrating.
Yeah.
And then all the other players who've just stepped up as well. And it's really surprising just seeing them blossom around. It's like, the rising tide. Everyone is benefiting from that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that leads us now to...
Can I throw one thing out there?
No.
The Indiana Pacers could break an all-time record for most games played in a season if they get to the NBA Finals.
Because of the number of...
Because of the in-season tournament.
Oh,
so
fair.
they played 2 more games than anyone else.
Yep.
They had a 6-game series.
Yep, they've played 13 games so far.
6-game series against the Bucks.
Yep.
7-game series against New York.
Yeah.
Let's say they have 2 more games series.
Yep.
They've played more games. They've played the most NBA games
Ever.
Wow.
That's a pretty cool stat, actually.
Yeah, it is.
Can you
that is
see
cool.
that happening against the Celtics?
I don't know. Let's see. You know what? I'm staying with the Pacers. I'm keeping this yellow muff on and on the microphone, Mark. And
But
yeah.
So that brings us to Boston versus Indiana. That's going to be the conference finals in the East. So I'm going to throw the curveball question now. Boston did it in 10 games. Yeah. And they secured their place on the 15th. The game is going to be on the 21st or the 22nd here in Europe. Yeah. So they've got 6 days rest. Indiana have played 3 more games and they've only had 2 days rest.
What's better, rest or you're
yeah,
in
what do you want?
intensity
Because if
mode?
you've got 2 days, that's enough to just get a bit of a recharge in you.
Yeah.
But do you if you've got 6 days rest, that's actually quite a long
It is a
time.
Wow.
It depends what they've been doing in 6 days. Look, those guys aren't sitting around bloody drinking beers
No, of course
by
not.
the pool.
No.
The classic example
You're going back to
always
Pat Riley.
is Pat
Yeah,
Riley.
yeah.
Because I think they had the Showtime Lakers. I think it was 10
9
days,
or something,
something like
9 or
that.
10, yeah.
And he drilled them so hard, and then 2 of their starter
injured
players got
during
injured
training.
in training and in game 1, I think, or maybe game 2. But it depends what they're doing. But
I think when it comes to the understanding of how the body works, they're so good these days. They could, like that 2 days that the Indiana Pacers guys have got to recover, they're going to be getting ice baths, they're going to be getting massages, they're going to be getting stretched, they're going to be doing all these things. They're going to come into that game fresh.
Yeah.
But
they've played already 3 more extra games. That's the thing.
But does that benefit them match fitness wise? Because they're ready. They're not having to reprime themselves to get back into it.
That's where my mindset would go. I'd rather be at game 7 mentality,
keep the momentum,
ready to kill kind of thing, than I've had 6 days off where I've been training and warming up and stuff like that. Coming in, I mean, look, they go into the Garden, or they got to get a win. Look, but they've shown they can win on the road. It's not easy going to Madison Square Garden with that.
But they're not going to Madison Square Garden.
Lions.
They're
No, that's
Boston.
what I mean.
So
But
it's
they've
the
won
same,
in
yeah.
Madison
Oh,
Square
yeah,
Garden.
yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
They now need to go to the Garden do that. But hey, I'm rolling on the. I did this for the in-season tournament.
they'll do
I'm
it?
doing it for the players. I'm staying on the Indiana train.
Well, it's going to be the same thing. Celtics finished first. Indiana finished 6th. So obviously home court advantage is going to go to the Celtics.
Yeah.
So Indiana have to get
Yeah, they got to get a win and a gun.
They've
That's
got
what I
to
mean.
they have to get one of those. Maybe it doesn't even matter if the first, ideally, but
They're going into that game 1, game 7 mentality. They've just been in a dogfight
And they
now
are
I'm going in
underdogs
the gun.
again. Yeah,
and they're
yeah.
like, right, let's go.
Just out of interest.
I'd rather be in their position, I think.
oh really?
Yeah. That's what I was saying. I'd rather be game 7 mentality than
2 days
I've had a
rest.
week off.
Keep them.
Yeah, like you said, look, we're talking NBA, like the best physios, best health professionals in the world. They're going to be going into those games as fit as they can be, or as healthy as they can be. But look, they're going to be carrying niggles and all that. But so are the
It's
Celtics.
the end of a long season.
Yeah, if you've hurt yourself, you know,
I think
it might not be ready.
age-wise, they stack up reasonably okay.
Yeah,
I
they're
think
both
all,
fairly young teams.
yeah, they're like
Got a couple
mid-20s.
couple of veteran players in both.
Yeah. I think they stack up pretty evenly. It's not like a OKC, like quite disparaging sort of. They've got quite a young team as opposed to some of the other ones.
Just out of interest on this one, Larry Bird, is he still involved in the Pacers setup? Because he coached them for a while and then was he their GM for a bit as well? Is he still involved in the because that's going to be a real awkward situation for him.
Yeah, so Larry is involved with the Pacers, but it's like consultant is the word you would use. So, I mean, yes, he was coach.
Yeah.
Larry, was that shot good? No, rubbish.
You know what? The best thing he did as a coach, it might have been Pacers. No, it was Pacers versus Jordan, actually, where Reggie Miller hits a shot and the crowd go nuts, and Larry's stone cold face looks up at the scoreboard and just goes, 3 seconds on the clock.
You've left him too much time.
Like, let's go on. And that's the one where I think Reggie Miller's dancing and spinning and doing that thing. Like, we won. And then, like, Jordan gets the ball. And that it might be the last dance. That's where
it wasn't the last
Reggie
dance,
Miller's going millimeters. That's what I remember him saying. But no, Jordan, he got executive of the year at the Indiana Pacers. And he was the president of basketball for 4 years between 2013 and 2017. He has been doing like an advisor role. I think it was for like a year. But then he had a break and he's come back. But he's a consultant. So the big question, he's a professional. Whether it's the Celtics or the Indiana Pacers, he's a professional.
Whoever's writing his check is the one that
Exactly.
he's going to be loyal to. I still think it's going to be a weird scenario for the Celtics fans if he's in the building, like in that series, because
he's a consultant.
legend, but he's the enemy at the same time. It's
It's the same thing, I guess, with Jordan owning, or when he used to own Charlotte. It was like, what happens when goes to Charlotte were in the finals with the Bulls? But the big question, and I think the answer will be no. I'm very confident it'll be no. Does a consultant win a championship ring?
No, absolutely not. Not part of the organisation.
Larry gets another ring.
I was going to say, I think they would make it organised for him to get a ring in that one.
And it could be as well something as simple as the reason he's listed as a consultant because they're paying him a certain amount of money because it was something that was associated and it was held over in a certain role.
It's a historic agreement.
It's not a historic agreement. You know, let's not forget he's the reason we got the bird rights in all the contracts.
Yeah.
But as far as loyalty is concerned, Indiana is Larry's.
That's where he's from.
That's his backyard,
Like, that's the whole point. Remember, he has that speech in his championship where he goes, he's got like 100,000 Boston people in front of him. He's like, the only place I'd rather be right now is Indiana, French Lick. But other than that, I'd rather be with you guys, or something like that. And it's
Backhanded compliment.
like it's he is an Indiana boy, he's gonna be support. I mean, look, he's coach and president and all that stuff with Indiana. So, it'd be great to see Indiana do something with Larry involved.
Yeah.
But
what's your predictions then?
well, I've said I'm going Pacers. I'm staying with the Pacers.
With-
You want me to give games?
Just give us a guess.
I'm gonna go for
Well, someone has to get 4.
Pacers. Pacers win in game 7.
A 7-game series.
Another 7-game series.
Another game series. I'm going to say the
Blimey.
Pacers are going to play more games than any other team in the NBA history this year. That is my prediction.
Wow.
I was trying to think of something really out there. So yeah, that's what I'll go for.
What are you doing?
I think the Celtics are too strong. I would go Celtics in 6. I think the Pacers will nick a couple of games off them, but I can't see them having the depth of squad. I just see Jaylen Brown and Tatum turning it on in this.
It'd be interesting to see what, like in the NBA Cup, it was one game, so it was that game 7. Let's see what happens. But then I'm only saying Indiana because I know no one else is going to say Indiana, so I'm saying Indiana. Yeah.
I think it'd be a lovely story. There's no question of that.
It is I think if Indiana win, everyone needs to embrace these new teams.
Yeah.
Like you said, they got through to the final. However they got there, they got through the final of the in-season tournament / cup. And if they're getting now in the Eastern Conference Finals, so you got to take them seriously as a team, no matter what it is going forward.
Yeah,
they see themselves as giant killers.
Yeah,
they're going to try and do the same thing in this Eastern Conference Final, aren't they?
You get a banner as well. If you win this series.
Yeah, you do. I mean, you already get one for winning your division, don't you? Because they obviously have all their little separate divisions within. Yeah. So you have Eastern, you have 3 divisions, and Western, you have 3 divisions. But I would say this is the point if up the tournament as a general rule, where like we saw with Brunson, this is where the injuries stack up.
Yeah.
This is where the fatiguing of having the whole season. This is where that's coming into play, and the younger teams it may benefit because they have less mileage on the clock.
Yeah.
Quite frankly,
and bounce back a bit more.
Yep. But that's why I was looking at that stat, thinking you've had 6 days rest. Could that actually go against you? Because even though you've played 3 less games, and then you're having a bigger rest.
Yeah.
That actually may be good for you if you're thinking we've got an older team or more established team.
Yeah.
They, Celtics are Porzingis. You've got things going up and down with other players. They could have someone like him on form. It changes the game.
Yeah.
But if he's out, that's it. So yeah, be a good series.
Well, I'm going to say the
go to the West
Pacers
now?
have never won an NBA championship. However, they have won 3 ABA championships.
Yeah, I thought it was an asterisk somewhere. Wasn't it?
So they haven't won an NBA title yet. So they're going up against the juggernaut, one of the juggernauts.
I mean, we say juggernaut. 63 games they won. They did. They were.
I'm talking about the franchise more than.
Oh
anything
yeah,
else,
well
though.
exactly. Because if you look at the difference between first and second in the East, there was quite a disparity.
Yeah.
Whereas when we were looking at the West, it was like the first 2 were joined, second 3 were joined. They're all at one game or 2 games different.
The top 3 were joined.
Yeah, and it was just like
And
you look
then-
at them and you think,
Yeah.
this was ridiculous. So that difference between West and East is quite apparent. I think when it comes down to the final, it'll be interesting. If there was more of a mix early on, I think that'd be interesting. But
Yeah,
that's not
indeed.
about it. Right,
Indeed, right.
let's go West.
Come on, here we go. We got 28 minutes before these words come out of his mouth.
Dallas Mavericks!
Oh, I pressed the wrong one. I meant this one. There you go.
Dallas Mavericks
Ah.
have entered the building. Yeah.
That's still going on. What's going on?
Look, the
Every time you press
Mavericks
it.
Mavericks took on OKC, and I actually
Look how
had them down.
relieved he is that we're talking about. He's like, yes,
And
Yes.
breathe.
we can talk about it now.
I had OKC going through because I generally
You're a
thought
traitor.
no, I had them thinking going through because I thought this is going to happen. Then I flipped it at the last minute.
Call
then I flipped
yourself
it back again.
Dallas fan. You had him going out.
No, honestly, because I just thought the way that they've played. The stupid thing was I went against it, saying, "Look how they've played
in
the season," and this was what I'm going to come to with the second game that they've got matched up against. So in short, Dallas did it 4-2, and for me, the star of the show was Kyrie, and he's been the star of Dallas since he joined there, because everyone worried about Luka and how they're going to react, and Kyrie is now Kyrie as he was in the Cavs.
Yep, he's managed to get rid of the baggage.
And if you see any things on social media that you see where he's posting and he's training and stuff, he's lifted that baggage, like you say, and he's like alive again.
He's fully focused on the game.
But he's like hitting stats. He's like, yeah, this is great, and he's smiling and he's enjoying the game. And you go, the stuff he got from when he was in the Celtics and then the Nets and all the things that were around in the media, you go, how that poison pill's just disappeared.
Yeah.
And you see this guy now come out and playing, like doing left-handed hook layups, like just unbelievable stuff. And he's just that MVP. That Luka's doing some stats that are mind-boggling, but the reality is, Kyrie is the one who's driving that to enable it to happen. And then you've got like Derek Lively third.
Yeah.
We just said Dallas Mavericks. We might
He's
as well
gone.
mute
Yeah,
ourselves and just let him
Yes.
go, innit?
But me and Paul go to the pub for a bit.
Yeah, exactly. But honestly, they've got that balance that we've been talking about of young players.
Yeah.
So they got Derek from OKC, and they got him in a swap. And it was a really nice thing. He actually put a tweet out to his mum, because his mum was quite well known in the NBA, and she passed away about a month ago. That was perfect timing, Paul. Well done, tactful. And basically, he actually put a tweet out saying, this one's for you, Mum. Like, sit back and enjoy the game. Like, sit back and just watch it and stuff. And you think
That's really cool.
he's a young guy, in his early 20s.
Well, not that his mum died, but that he's like
You're
that.
just doing well for yourself there, aren't you?
No, but you know what? That's
No,
cool.
yeah.
But
isn't
to
it?
do that, and he's been playing out of his skin. Like, he's been getting 16-point games. He's a rookie. You still got to think
crazy.
that, and he's really doing well. And you look at it and you go, what we're talking about with all these other teams is balancing of that new generation of player
And the veterans.
and the veterans. So it's weird that Luka is considered like a veteran, but he's still like 24. It's because he's been playing professionally since he was 16. So people forget that. But everyone thought they needed a veteran, like a big man. But it turns out actually having Kyrie as the veteran has enabled that team to grow, and they've got some really good plays. They absolutely blew OKC out of the water.
Wow.
They did.
I want to show you this picture. This is Kyrie's face. Game 7, third quarter.
Yeah. 20
That's
points
like,
down.
what's going on?
Yeah.
And then you look at this one. That's when they've just gone up by 1 point.
Yeah.
Do you know we were talking about
yeah,
that
the switch
going
the
over
momentum change.
in the last episode, where it's like you're catching up, and then you take the lead, and it's an absolute dagger to the other team.
It's a weight off your shoulders as the team that are chasing.
Momentum killers, momentum gains,
Yeah.
sucks the air out of the crowd, everything.
Yeah. And especially when what you guys were saying about with the BBL episode, but the travelling teams, as you said, some of the away supporters, and it didn't almost matter in this series whether they're in Oklahoma or in Dallas. I mean, in Dallas there was some noise, but in Oklahoma there was still people who were travelling.
And the away fans are making as much noise.
Yeah, and I loved Oklahoma's fans when there was that TV shot and you looked at it and all you saw were blue T-shirts, like with all the Oklahoma fans just surrounding the whole thing.
Yeah.
And you look at it and go, yeah, we know which court we're on. There's no secret here. Like, what can a fan do? Make noise, represent, show up. That's what you want from a fan, and they did it.
Yeah.
So massive respect to them for that.
What do you think about Luka and the incident with the guy in the front row passing the ball up?
Oh, that's hilarious.
That was funny.
That was hilarious. And then,
He's really
He just
chilled
put his
out,
hands
isn't he?
up. What?
yeah,
He's
and then
really
he's
chilled
like,
out. He's like, why are you
come
doing
on.
that, man? Come on.
but
But the old Luka wouldn't have done that.
No.
He would have gone like 2 seasons ago.
Oh,
He would have been complaining to the refs.
No, Crybaby Luka's still there. He's been crying on every play. I'm not going to pretend he hasn't. But he found that guy in one of the other series, and they got a picture of him. He's like, looked at him and went,
You again.
hey. He's like, yeah. And he's just like, all right, mate. And he was laughing, just like, but that's when they were up.
Yeah.
So like you guys were saying, where it was like, he was more like shoulders up, and he was just looked at him. And then people memed it, and they said, you know you're in trouble when Luka's smiling.
Yeah.
And it's actually quite
Yeah,
true, because
yeah.
his game, when he's like joking around and being
When he's
jovial,
relaxed and, yeah.
he is a different class of player. And I think Joker's the same as well. So I wonder if it's a
What a
Like
European
an Eastern
attitude.
European.
The European
I
mentality.
almost said it earlier when I was talking about when he laughed, but yeah, no, I think
There's
you're right. I
something
think
in
it's
it.
a European thing where it's just laugh it off kind of thing.
but
then
then they sit in that groove, and then they get all relaxed, and then suddenly they're
Can't
doing
miss.
these passes like this behind their head to someone. You think, how do you even know they were there?
But a real game of two halves. I mean, just looking at it here, first quarter,
They were out of it. starting.
Dallas down by 7. Second quarter, down by 9.
Yeah.
and then like the second half, just come back
Switch
and
two
dominate.
games.
But you think this is a game 6, and it's just a game. I want to say game 6, but you think, did they have any right to win this? Maybe not.
But Kyrie's done this thing throughout the whole of the playoffs, where I think we were talking about it before. In the first half, he's trying to get the team involved.
Mm-hmm.
He's distributing. He's making assists. The second half,
My turn.
that's when I'm starting to score.
Yeah.
So he's managed to get the rest of the players warmed up. He's got them shooting. In the second half, I'm sure he's been averaging something like 20 points in the second half of these playoff games, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, all his stats come with this was in Q3, or this was up to then he had 2 points or 5 points or whatever. Then he got 20 in Q3 or something. But it's just that mental thing that you guys were saying about where you have a mental switch. For Kyrie this season at Dallas, it's been really good to see someone come out of a very negative headspace and come into that where, like, we've seen someone who's in their mid-30s dunking it, and he's like, I haven't done that in like 5 or 6 seasons. And he's gone back to a player from yesteryear. So that was really cool to see. But moving on from them, we had probably arguably the biggest game of, Sunday night, Monday morning. Probably the biggest game was the Timberwolves.
Yeah, see, I stayed up to watch the Pacers game.
Oh, really?
And that finished, and then it was like another hour to wait for the Nuggets game. But like in the UK, that starts at 1 a.m. and it's like, no, I'm not waiting, because then you're talking like 3 a.m. by the time it finishes. It's like, I got to get up for work at like before 7 a.m.
Today's podcast sponsored by Pro Plus.
It's Pro Plus, coffee, and more coffee.
Yeah, I mean, the trouble we have in the UK is trying to get through the day without finding the score. And I didn't even think. I woke up tired, picked my phone up. First thing I saw was Denver out. I was like,
damn it.
All right, okay. I was like, oh man.
Hey, do you know, on the actual thing, I've started saying it now. This is an NBA thing. It contains spoilers. If you don't want to hear, scroll away now. Yeah, and I'll actually say that at the beginning now, just for that point. And I don't put anything in the wording on like the InstaWeb and stuff. Just for that reason, because it peed me off last year with the NBA doing it with the playoffs. They kept putting the scores out.
Sorry, can I just go back to the? You're not going to say no, because I'm going to say, can I go back to the Dallas series?
Talk about the Mavs again?
No, I want to talk about the Thunder really quick, just to make a point. When is this? In 2022,
no kids were allowed on T-bus.
They were 14 in the league. That's where they finished, 14th. It's now 2024, 2 seasons later, and they finished top. You're right, joint top with Nuggets, and then there was Minnesota, Clippers, Mavs very close behind them. But what a transition that they've gone through in that 2 years to go from 14th to first.
Combination of their draft selections and a couple of trades that really helped them out.
They're the top seed in the West, and they've made the semi-final appearance in just 2 years.
Yeah,
you've got to wonder how
the future holds.
What's going to happen? Yeah.
Well, as Eliott said about the draft picks, they've done so well, and I think some of it rolls back still to I want to say it's down to not Kyrie. Was it the Kawhi trade, the Paul George trade, and something? And then it was like one of these ones where you go, "This is the trade that was responsible."
It was Paul George to the Clippers.
It was, I think, because of the monster moves that they had to make to get people moving, and the trades, and then getting Kawhi somewhere. They traded someone else off, and it was one of those 3-team thingies, and it all came back. And OKC, basically, if you look down their roster for last year, and 2022 and 2023, the amount of picks that they had, it was frightening. But also, it's their coach. I think he was up for the Coach of the Year award. So their coach was, I forget his name, but he basically was doing NCAA for ages and then went under something else. And then he's only been their head coach for a short period of time at OKC. And he just, everyone's looking at him saying, I don't know what you've done, but you've still got draft picks. You've got things in the bag. You've got this young team. They're all playing together. You've got a great attitude, and they are absolutely flying. But they've credited him with that as much as well. So, but yeah, they're definitely doing something right. No question there.
When you get a unicorn, in fact, 2 unicorns, you've got Shea Gilgeous-Alexandra, who is an amazing on-ball and off-ball player.
And he was traded into there, wasn't he?
Yeah, as part of the Paul George trade.
Mhm.
That they and this is another thing as well. Apparently, the Clippers did not want to release him, but they had their hands were tied. They had Kawhi only going to them if Paul George came. To get Kawhi into the team, they had to get Paul George, so they had to release Shea. So they've got a great guard. But at the same time, the following season, or was it 2 seasons later, you get Chet Holmgren. So you've then got that 1-2 punch of an amazing ball handling guard and scoring guard, and a unicorn of a center who can score outside and handle the ball. Yeah, it's crazy.
Sorry, I'm just thinking now. Steve Ballmer spent like $2 billion building the new stadium for LA Clippers, and not only did they get sent home in the first round,
the wall.
Yeah,
That does look
with
amazing.
the wall. I don't know. I'm not sure.
No, I like it.
I
I like
like
it. They're trying to get college atmosphere.
Yeah, I
and
like the
stuff
idea
that.
of it, but it's the giant screen above it. It's like
No, I like it. I
Instead
love
of
it.
a
It's
jumbotron,
great.
having it as like a
it's an
isn't
inside
it
and an outside.
acre of screen or something.
Yeah, because it's a screen outside and a
It's
screen
called
inside.
innovation. What an amazing idea! Like when you showed me those pictures, like what a great idea.
But look, he's paid that
That's the
money.
future. That is
He paid $400 million just to buy the old Forum.
to knock it down.
To knock it down, and then they put the new stadium there. And they spent about just under $2 billion, I think it is. Then he's also got the Clippers payroll, so he's paid for Kawhi, who never turns up. Plays for Paul George, who's had a few injuries and has been a bit sporadic. Then they were like, "Oh, we got Russ Westbrook on a couple of million contract, and we just get James Harden." Like
That's nothing to him, though. That's pocket change.
it is pocket change to him, but at some point you go, dude, I'm spending a lot of money here and we still
Yeah.
suck.
I don't know about suck. That's strong. Don't forget they did finish.
How did they do in the first round of the playoffs again?
They finished 4th. Did they finish 4th?
What in the season?
Yeah,
Yeah,
4th.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, and that you can credit basically to James Harden.
but I
And Russ
love
for being
the
unselfish.
idea of the wall, and they're saying no away fans.
No,
are in it.
yeah.
So
I think
you
that's
go
great.
there with a ticket. You know, you got
Literally turned away.
actually.
Paul, are you giving
You
your
have to made.
Are you giving your thumbprint to Steve then?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Yeah, and I think it's a bit harsh to say you have to make a certain amount of decibel noise in your area, in your seat.
Or you get moved, isn't
But
it,
it's
somewhere?
yeah, but it highlights you got to be a fan to
Yeah,
be there.
yeah.
Like, I think that's a great
The
idea,
atmosphere,
and
I
I
think
think
it's
it's
gonna
going to
be
be
great.
nuts. So people are going to want to go there to. Really, it's a college crowd
yeah.
or a football crowd, isn't it?
They're trying to get that partisan.
A
type.
Euro League.
Yeah. Are they going to have flares?
No one's
No.
no one's taking their missus to the alley.
No.
Got tickets for the game tonight, love. Where you going? Oh, we're in this state. You've
We're
got
in
to
the
be
wall.
loud though. Like what? Like excuse me, you got to move, love. You're not loud enough.
Love, I'm not missing this.
It's
See you later.
she's not with me.
Here's the car
Take
keys.
her
Go
out.
and sit in the car.
Yeah.
Right. So Timberwolves. I mean, Game 7. What a great game. What a great game.
It was.
Biggest Game 7. Biggest comeback in the last 25 years. That's
Yeah.
what the Timberwolves have just done.
Yeah, that was. It was 58-38, I think it was.
58-38 in the
With-
third quarter.
Yeah,
I know this, Mark. I've got it here. How long?
They were 1 minute 40 in, so it was 10 minutes 20 something left.
Oh, very good. Very good. It was no, but you're wrong.
No, look at this.
But you're wrong. It was
Bathe in my glory.
10 minutes 45 left.
Oh, go suck something. That's nasty.
10 minutes 45. Where did that come from? Where's
But-
all this aggression coming
It's
from?
getting late in the day.
Yeah, just something. I'm feeling the heat. But no, honestly, that game was superb. I thought they'd lost it. I genuinely thought. Do you know what? It wasn't even that the better team was winning. With Denver,
No, it's
it wasn't. It just the balls weren't clicking.
when
Well,
you've got
that run that they went on in the third quarter, if you watched it, it was just like
So you are on about. Sorry, I'm not butting in, but you are always talking about. I'd love to hear what the coach says at halftime. If this isn't one of those games, I don't know what is, because you're only a minute or so into the second half,
and the game's completely changed.
and then the run starts.
he has done some bloody Winston Churchill speech in
It
there.
must have.
Alex Ferguson.
We will fight. in the key. We will fight in the three. We will never surrender. In Denver. It's halftime, so this is not the end, but it will be the beginning of the end. We will never surrender. Victory is near.
So they flew a guy in from the 40s to Minnesota. Nice.
Oh, and he's dead now.
Dead for a long time.
That's the first hurdle, really.
That was a moment of genius by myself there, I think.
Yeah, well played.
What a great thing. You got to say, Winston Churchill. I know we don't like bringing politics up. Mark tells me off immediately with politics. But if you had to talk about politicians, who would be the best coach? Winston Churchill's got to be up there for his speeches, hasn't he? Halftime speeches, like I just done.
I mean, if we're going controversial, Hitler was pretty good at motivating people.
I'm so pleased you said that, because I'm literally thinking it. I'm like, yeah.
I will kill you if you do not win.
I was literally, yeah. I was thinking you've got like Saddam would probably be quite effective. Hey, you going to win that? No.
I think Bill Clinton
Bye-bye.
would have been good.
I did not have relations with that ball.
He at halftime speech, he'd be like, "Hey guys, why don't we just chill out? I got some girls back here win the game and they're all yours." He'd be saying that, wouldn't he?
Monica!
I
think
Obama, he'd be like, "Lads, I'm just going to sub myself in.
Pretty much.
I'm coming in the game."
3-point demon.
yeah, why not? If you could, why would you not?
Oh, that is a great question. Please, listeners, email ukbasketballpodcast@gmail.com and tell us who the best politician player coach would be.
It'll be someone, won't it? It'll be someone like Justin Trudeau. Was like,
oh, he's randomly played at like Div 3 college or something in.
Yeah, and then there'll be a picture of him like dunking it on someone. You're like, oh, that's the future prime minister and president. Like, oh, cool. That's be even better if it was like Angela Merkel from Germany or something.
Oh yeah,
she's like up there, like.
Oh, she would. Yeah, the German's going to be good.
German chancellor.
You're Phil Finn.
Oh no.
That's the chunk of the German audience lost.
Oh,
dear
dear.
Germany, we are.
Trump would be good as well, wouldn't he? But, guys, we've established
Fake news.
We've established
Fake news.
the greatest basketball team of all time. It's great, and refs, here's $10 million. Make sure we win the game.
So Wolves. And
I think
Nuggets.
my impressions are really good there, aren't they?
You're doing
That's
all
all
right
right.
tonight, aren't you? You're showing your skill set. So look,
I've got one more actually.
go on then.
One more politician.
Get it out.
George Bush, the second one.
W. Or
Yeah, the game's going to start. We're going to get them. We're going to get those.
What was that?
No, I was just saying he was pretty chilled out, and then as soon as like the war started,
Oh,
he
he
was
got
like,
hyped.
"Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'm motivated now."
I was thinking of George W., where he was like, "This is terrible news. Now check out this shot," and he does the old golf swing. He was having an interview.
yeah,
on the
literally
thing, wasn't
whilst the
he was like, yeah,
September the 11th, wasn't it?
yeah. It was
No,
like,
he was reading a book.
Oh yeah, it was in a
That's the guy
children's
who-
school. Yeah, and he
he's
just didn't
reading-
react.
yeah, it didn't know what to do.
Well, I don't know about that's
What?
staying calm under.
Yeah, fair
immense-
play. You wouldn't just go,
immense-
just let it. All the kids.
Under the tables, kids.
Wow, this has taken a proper left turn, hasn't it?
And back to the
Wolves
Timberwolves.
And Timberwolves.
Yeah. Anyway, so down by 20
Yeah.
at the beginning of the third, and what a run! I loved again.
And
You see it so much penetration, kick it out, free.
look, you're saying 58 that the Nuggets had. Yeah, it's all right. I won't say pedestrian, but it's a reasonable 38.
It's a slow start.
That's
in
a
an NBA
slow, Denver have got some great defense in Aaron Gordon. Joker's pretty handy, obviously, but Gordon is like a rash. He's all over people all the time, causing havoc.
I prefer the word defense to defense.
What?
game. Just Americanizing.
I'm just saying, defense. He played good defense. You said defense.
So, at the MOD in the UK, what's that called?
Ministry of Defense.
Is that what you do? I work for the Ministry of Defence.
Yeah, but you usually say defense for basketball, don't you? He's playing good D. He's playing good defense. Not he's playing good defense. That's very English. That's one of those mannerisms.
I ain't Chinese, man.
That's one of those mannerisms that I was saying to you that
Like in the
you
announcing.
could bring into the announcing
Yeah,
by
yeah.
saying defense rather than.
Yeah, definitely.
As soon as you
Defense.
say that is amazing defense, it
Defense.
loses it for me.
Right, game. 98-90 was the final score.
Great comeback though, wasn't it?
Amazing
Great
comeback.
comeback.
And
Look,
did you
Anthony Edwards, you've got to talk about him.
you have to talk about it, especially the little wave at the end he was doing. He did a little wave to the crowd.
No, I like the old man. Did you see old man? They went up and he was like, there was an old man. He go, get back in your seat. Or
Let's get in
something
his
like that.
face.
Oh,
Yes, yeah.
I don't know what he said, but it was like, man, that guy's pumped. Give him the ball.
I saw a great,
Get out of the way.
a great meme of his from the Olympics. What was it? 2021? Because it was pushed back, wasn't it?
Yes.
Where he was shooting a free throw and someone screamed just as he was releasing it. And his response was to scream back at them, "You're an arsehole." It's great. I'll have to find that clip and send it to you.
Nice.
But he's an absolute dog, Anthony Edwards. He, like, whatever you need him to do on the court in order to win the game, he's doing it. Whether it's scoring threes, whether it's driving and dishing, whether it's playing amazing defense or chase down blocks, he's all over the court in every aspect.
He's really, I won't say honest, but he's very polarizing when he answers questions as well. Like someone will say, why is that? He's like, well, we weren't good enough. And this wasn't that. And this sucked. And this is how we're going to improve it. And I think that's as much as the parallel that they could get when people are always talking about Jordan and stuff. It's not just the moves and the similarity. It's because he's a very, attacking player. It's probably the best way to put it. And in the same way, he's very voracious. Jordan was the same. But the way he answers and handles himself in the media, like people will ask him a question, the first thing he'll do is he'll talk about his teammates.
I love that.
And he's like, we needed Rudy. And they were talking about how when Rudy hit that shot, and Gobert just turned around and done some really non-Gobert kind of shot. And
it went his fadeaway.
Yeah, it's with the shot clock running low.
Yeah, I mean, it was like he sort of channeled Kobe and Dirk and everyone who does that weird fadeaway jumper, and he just got it. And you're like,
but so just putting that into context.
But they said in the press conference, like, that was the moment we went, we've got this.
It was
they were down by
points
20.
Yeah.
They're down by 20, 58-38 with 10:45 left in the third quarter. Rudy Gobert, he hits that shot.
Yeah. But as soon as he hit that shot,
it's then 79-75. That's you're up by 4.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still 7.5 minutes or whatever it was to play.
But going back to what you were saying about mentality,
it's a nail killer. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh.
But that wasn't their thing. They didn't go, oh, that was the point we thought, oh, we got a chance here. It was, no, we've got this.
It's ours, yeah.
Yeah, this is ours
we've got a
now.
chance,
It's not, they've left the door open a little bit. They've already gained all of that back in the third quarter. It was an amazing third. But yeah, so
another stat for you as well.
Do it.
Jaden McDaniels
is
the second youngest player in NBA history to have back-to-back elimination games. The only player to do it younger, Michael Jordan.
Oh, nice.
That is impressive. And McDaniels has surprised me in this series. He's made some amazing plays.
Yep. I mean, I think the whole Wolves team have.
What is it, 21 points he got last game?
And I forget his name now. Is it Taj Reed, their centre?
I want to say Naz Reid, isn't it?
Naz Reid, sorry, yes. Has played amazingly, but done what he needs to defensively at the same time. He's scoring points like he hasn't done all season, but is still managing to do everything he can to keep Jokic out of the paint.
Oh, there was a great one where he got a block that got outletted, and I think Edwards took it up and dished it off, and they got the layup. And when you look at it, you think the basketball that they play is just movement. And Indiana do the same thing. There's a lot of movement. I want to say European style, but it's not just run gun. That's give it to one person. That's it. Although it might be going through one person, and Edwards is calling a shot, they very much are fluid with that ball.
Yeah.
Well, I love his confidence at the moment. I love the way he.
Is he the figurehead?
Well, I think sure. I think
he's the franchise player, but you've also got Gobert defensively doing an amazing job, and Cat scoring baskets like it's going out of fashion at the same time.
Yeah, it was weird. Towns has found his little rhythm because he didn't have it. And you think of the players he's had, like D'Angelo Russell, even Jimmy Buckets for a while.
Yeah.
Like, he's played with some great players. He never found that rhythm. I know he's a young player then, but still now you look at it and go, he's found that place, and he's not a leader. And that's, I think, the important thing.
Yeah. And
Cat is not the leader, but he was always put in the leadership role when he was too
it.
young for it. It's like, you've got to grow into that, which is what Tatum has done really well.
Yeah.
He's been a young leader and gone into it. Edwards is the same.
Well, what I
Halliburton's
liked
doing
about
that.
Edwards in Game 5, was it Game 5 they lost? They lost in Denver, and he turned around and went, "We'll be back." Yeah, they did lose in Denver.
Because he said to the
and
guys,
he turned around, I'll see you in 3 days or something
see
like
in
that.
Game 7.
Yeah. I mean, that says confident. They get a bit like, when you're losing and you're talking crap, like, all right, fair play.
Well,
if you
everyone
don't
sings
ever
when they're winning.
back it up, it's like, oh, okay, you're just talking crap. But he seems to be consistently backing everything up of what he's saying, and his confidence is evident and is sky high and is just evident in his game. And I think they're the neutral favourites to win now, aren't
I definitely
they?
agree with that. They're the team that everyone's following. I mean, it's 20 years since they've got to a conference finals.
Yep. There was a great picture that they did a split of. I must say, the NBA's media this playoffs has been fantastic. The way they do the bracket and the way they just put I won't say put the scores out, but the way they just do that stuff, it's very clear, and they're good pictures as well. The people look like humans rather than just here's a picture of someone jam, and it's actually like a bit more of an off-court picture. But yeah, I forgot what we were saying.
Oh, you were talking about a picture, was it running back to the 20 years ago when they...
With Garnett, that's
was
it.
it Garnett?
Yeah. So it was a picture of them, and they were saying it's 2024, the last time they were in that.
So they've never won a championship.
No chips in no chips in.
But that's
Minnesota.
what's great. I personally would love to see Timberwolves take on the Pacers in the finals.
It would be good.
That would be, and it would be passionate as well. Also, I found this
mixed feelings on that.
This little stat, and I know Mark used to be a Minnesota Timberwolves fan.
Yep.
Back in the day.
I've still got my jersey, and I've still got the stuff.
So who are you supporting, Dallas or the Timberwolves?
If the Wolves are in the, I'm West Coast really, to be honest. I'm just West all the way. So
okay, but what about in the conference final?
In this conference final, I'm still got to be Mavs. It's always going to be Mavs.
Well, I got a stat. Like, I know you used to be a huge fan of the legend Kevin Garnett.
Yes, sir.
Last time the Minnesota Timberwolves advanced was in a Game 7. It was May 19th, 2004.
Yep.
Which is Kevin Garnett's birthday.
I know.
And they did it once again, Game 7.
Yep.
May 17th, 2024. 20 years apart from each other. That's cool, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Coincidence.
100%. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Coincidence.
That was the picture that they did. But it's nice that they have that circular thing. And
they can throw it back to the historic players.
Yeah, but you look at Garnett, and he was a savage. And he had the mouth on him as well as anything else, maybe too much mouth sometimes. But he was a young player going, and he has all the energy, brings all that thing. And you look at Edwards and go, although they're different players, they both have that same, I'm the driver.
Yep.
And that's why it was interesting when he went to Boston and he wasn't the driver necessarily, but still got a chip out of it, didn't he? So that leaves us with the West Conference Finals. So looking at those, we were just saying about the teams, how many games they played. It's actually pretty even. 12 games Mavs have played, 11 games the Wolves have played. I thought the Wolves would have played more because they played 7.
Yeah.
But it was a clean sweep the first round.
Of course, yeah. Against
so that makes probably quite a difference if you think about it. With them, I genuinely thought that the Wolves were going to be the other way, but actually...
I think you're looking into it too much.
You haven't been injury-ridden. They've only played one game. There's 4 games, 3 days and 4 days rest. So between them, it's pretty much even. So they're both going into it. Yeah. No one's got injuries. No one's too bad.
Yeah.
I'm sure people are a bit sore.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll be just fatigue from the season.
But yeah, they don't.
An extra day's rest. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna make a difference.
That's not gonna. Well, that's why I mean there's more of a disparity, especially with Boston, where they're actually having. They're not warm.
Potentially almost too much rest.
Yeah. So there's that danger there. But
so who you got in the conference finals, Mark?
Mavs. I have to support them.
And how many games? I had to say games. How many are you going to do?
think I'd have to do.
It's got to be at least 4.
I think it might be 4, and I would want to say a 3. I'd want to say
it's going to go down to the line.
I'd want to see that,
I'm gonna
and then whoever wins, I would support that. I think that would be great. I'd obviously love the Mavs to win, but I think it's great for the NBA if the Wolves win as well, because I think both teams have both got players that everyone likes and supports.
Well, I'm going to go for the Timberwolves in a sweep.
Jeez.
Really?
Look at his face. I just want to irritate him. That's all.
I don't think Kyrie's letting that happen.
No.
We'll see.
Luka definitely
We'll
will.
see. No, you don't get many sweeps.
Especially not when you get into the latter stages.
No.
The
4-1s,
playoffs.
4-2s.
Yeah.
I'm going Timberwolves. That confidence says it all to me.
Yeah.
Going with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Al?
I think I'm going to go Timberwolves as well. Sorry, Mark. I think it's going to be tight. I think it's going to be 6 or 7 games, though.
Hey, if you were going to war right now and Anthony Edwards came to you and said, we're going, let's go, you'd say, yes, sir, let's go. Luka comes over and says, hey, can we be friends? Come on, let's go. Nah, I'm going with Edwards. Sorry, I'm going with Anthony Jordan.
My caveat is purely based on Luka and Kyrie as a pair. And I went and did the stats. I won't bore you with them. But I was looking at where the Mavs were already through when Denver and the Nuggets and Wolves were playing.
Oh, the head-to-heads.
Yeah, who was the best head-to-head? And they were both 3-1.
Oh.
Mavs had lost 3 games to both of them. So it was like, actually, who's the better one? And the Wolves were the better choice. Just edging it out. And that's purely because they didn't have Kyrie and Luka playing at the same time when they lost to the Wolves, and when they did play them with them, they kicked them like 20 or 30 points.
Early in the season when there was injury issues.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like they have been on a roll recently, and Kyrie, more than Luka, it's fair to say, is in his form. At that moment, you go, they could create a problem. If one of them gets an injury, Mavs are done.
I love the way that you can talk about that as if Luka's playing badly. He's still scoring 20-something plus points a game.
Yeah, well, that goes back to when people have been saying about, like, I guess we got to say it, like Joker is out and he's the MVP for the season.
Yeah.
I would taken his MVP trophy off him and said, Anthony Edwards,
revoke that.
Well done.
Well,
there you go.
I don't know where I heard it of. I don't know if it was you, I don't know if it was someone else, but they said, why is the MVP trophy being given out?
Oh, yeah.
It was you, wasn't it?
Do it at the end of the season.
Yeah,
done.
because it's a season MVP trophy.
So at the end of the regular season,
yeah, that's what it's for.
Yeah,
so
rather
it's like
than halfway through the playoffs, or not even halfway through.
And then they did it on that stupid thing, going, "Oh yeah, congratulations, you've done that on the show." And you go, and then Shaq made the comment and tried to be a bit like of a Kanye stealing the light from Taylor Swift sort of thing.
No,
Taylor Swift again, mate.
I 100% agree with Shaq. I don't think Joker was MVP this year.
Really?
Yeah, I wouldn't have given it to him.
Who would you give it to?
Hey, I don't know, but look, Mark, he didn't get to the conference finals.
No, who would you have given it to?
I'll answer next week.
I'd have given it to SGA.
I was going to say Shea.
Even over Luka, I'd have given it out to him because he just made his team better. Him
in
alone.
every aspect.
Joker does. He lifts up, and so does. That's what all three of them have in common. That's why Giannis got it as well. They lift their team up. That's the whole common theme, isn't it? Always. Just are you better all round a bit?
But I definitely agree that it needs to be when you get to the end of the regular season, because they have that little gap between the regular season and the playoffs starting.
That's what it should be.
That week should be Rookie of the Year, MVP, Defensive Player of the Year,
give it to them at training,
Most Improved, all of it.
They want to do it with the TV on in a game, 20,000 seat arena.
Or do it in literally the first game of the playoffs.
Exactly. It shouldn't have been that long into it. It should have just been, there you go, first one done, that's it.
Because I don't know when the decisions are made, but I don't believe it's done completely honestly, because if you've got some playoff games, a lot of players turn it on in the playoffs. Other players, the nerves hit them and they don't play so well in the playoffs. That's going to then have an impact on those decisions that are made.
Yeah.
Like Rudy Gobert has played really well during the playoffs. He hasn't made some of the howlers that he does in the regular season.
Defensive Player of the Year, though?
But was he?
No.
Not at all.
He should
not
never
even
have got
near.
that. Wemby should have got
Wemby, by a country mile. He got more blocks than any of the seasons that Rudy's got it, has won it previously.
Yep.
It's and beat him in blocks this season and beat him in steals this season. And you must have seen that video.
But they did finish 14th.
True.
But
when you've got every single player changing how they play basketball when they go up against him, the number of times where people have got a drive to the basket, oh no, Wemby's there, I'm not even going to go near. And they're just running around in circles, waiting for the rest of their team. They're on a fast break, but they've got Wemby with them. They're not taking that layup. They're waiting for the rest of their team so they can set up a half-court offense.
Yeah.
It's changing things. And I honestly think if the Spurs can get one or two more pieces around him, they're going to be difficult.
But there's people not doing layups now. Just like they drive in, they see he's there, and they run round. Don't
Literally,
they?
yeah, just dribble under the basket and loop round again.
It's the weirdest thing to what it looks like. Someone's just playing like a little game, like a kid's game or something. Like just how much I just don't get it. But yeah, that's all of those guys are going to change the game. But it's going to be. I think it's been the best playoffs I've watched in. Don't know when.
It's been really competitive.
5 or 6 years at least.
Because I have not won the Portsmouth Fury sweepstake, it is the worst playoffs.
Oh, but
no,
you haven't seen how badly I've done.
Where are you?
By a long shot in last place.
So, anyone who regularly listens, you'll know what I'm about to say. But the team that we're all associated with throughout the years is Portsmouth Fury, and every year we have a sweepstake where we all predict all the games all the way around to the final. Every year there's one guy called Tim who finishes bottom every year. You know, like, and it's a running joke where we're just like, he sucks. He's going to win it this year.
Seriously?
He's going to win it.
Yeah, he's going to win.
And with the results that have just happened,
has that gone in his favour
the
as well?
only team I've got left in my predictions is Boston. So I can't catch him, and he's like 7 points ahead of me, and I can only get like 5 points, I think.
I think I'm the same.
Well,
so,
Eliott, you've got 11 points. Yeah.
So congratulations to Tim Arnold for
Yeah.
winning,
31
almost
points.
certainly winning the Portsmouth Fury sweepstake of 2024.
Milky Bars are on Tim.
Oh,
You know what is ironic as well?
he wouldn't share chocolate.
He was the one person who, when it first started, everyone got asked, should we have the winner take everything, or should we have winner take 8%?
Oh, like first, second, third.
First, second, third, something like that. Everyone went winner take all. He was the one person who went, maybe we should let second have something. Maybe third. He's the only person who said it.
Changed his mind this year.
That is karma has just gone, Tim, you wonderful soul.
Yeah.
You can have it all.
Yeah, there's
So-
no way of touching him now, especially how they've all gone out.
No way of touching him. So yeah.
Congratulations, TNA.
The only thing I've got to add to you, to this, Mark, a bit of knowledge for you. So, out of the remaining teams that are in the conference finals, we just add it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 out of 8. As far as what the teams are spending on salaries, the top 5 are no longer in it. Minnesota are next, 176 million. And then you got to go down to 9th for Dallas, 169 million.
I'm surprised by Dallas's budget. And
Phoenix, second, out. Oh, sorry, joint first. Phoenix, joint first, out first round. Milwaukee, third, out first round. Miami, 4th, out first round. Denver, they're joint first again. They've just gone out, not got to in semifinals.
The flops.
Lakers, they're 5th.
The Lakers.
They're out first round. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4 out of the top 5 teams for what they're spending a year on salary are out in the first round.
That's crazy.
It's change. Embrace the change. All the new teams are coming. Embrace it.
Chips.
And all the new coaches are probably.
Embrace it.
There'll be a lot of firings and hirings. But I think it's exciting. I won't say loop back to where we started, but one of those 4 guys is going to win their first ring. And
So
arguably,
this is
you got Jason Tatum, Boston Celtics,
Tyrese Halliburton.
Tyrese Halliburton, and obviously
Anthony Edwards,
Anthony Edwards, and he who must not be named.
Luka Doncic.
Yes. But, that everyone on those teams has got someone who's won a ring.
Yeah.
So in Indiana, obviously Siakam won it with the Raptors.
Yep.
Kyrie obviously won it with the Cavs. Who else we got left?
Oh, we don't need to go in detail if we
No,
want, but yeah,
just
it's
don't think-
nice to think that one of those four guys.
And I don't think the Wolves have. I don't think they've got anyone who's got a chip.
They've probably got some random bench player.
I want to say the last time, I don't know why this image just popped in my head. The last time the Dallas Mavericks won it, you had that small point guard driving the key, and it was like at that point it was like the game's over against the Lakers, and it was the big guy. What was he called?
Dirk Nowitzki.
No, number 7 was he? 17. He comes in with 4 and bam, takes this guy out in the air. I don't know why that image just popped in my mind when you were talking about Dallas.
Andrew. Oh, what was his name? I know exactly who you mean. A relatively young player, wasn't he?
This guy gets chucked out the game.
Yeah.
The Laker guy gets chucked out the
flagrant
game.
foul.
Yeah.
Flagrant 2.
But it was
gone.
like everyone was like, game's over. That happened. It's like, game's over. But
No.
that was Western Conference Finals, I think.
Yep.
And that was before Dallas went on to take on, who did they beat in the finals when they got there? You call yourself a Dallas fan.
Miami, wasn't it?
I was just about to say Miami, but
Yeah.
I've now
It was,
questioned myself.
no, it was. It was LeBron Miami.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
LeBron's
because
Miami,
that-
wasn't it?
yeah,
Because
Don't
they
forget,
denied him.
that's when
But then they won 2 back-to-back after it.
Yeah.
that's
that
when
was-
everyone was panicking, and
That was 2011.
Pat
'cause
Riley
then-
was like, "Look, we've got to the finals. And
Yeah.
three years in a row, we've won it."
Yeah, because
two
that was
times,
that was 2011, and then 2012 and 2013
Yep.
they won it, and they'd already won it to 2000 and what was an 8? Was it? What was it? 2003 was it? Something like that. I don't know. With Dwayne Wade, the first one, 2006 maybe something like that.
Well, there you
Some
go,
random
Mark. Is that the show?
That is the show. So we've got all these games going up 22nd, 23rd, and it's annoying because, again, we're in Europe, so they'll be right at night, which means if you're listening to this in Europe or somewhere else to the east of America, look at the actual times. Don't just associate with when they say 8 p.m., as some people still do, and go, oh, I missed the game. Well, yeah, it's 8 p.m. Eastern or 8 p.m. Western sometimes. So, yeah, keep a note of the times.
We're over to the conference finals. The NBA.
Final Four. I don't call it Final Four, do I?
It's weird, they don't.
Well, anyway, thank you for tuning in. If you haven't listened to all our episodes, we've got loads and loads and loads and loads, like 111 I think it is now. Go check them out. I have been Mark.
I have been Paul. And coming up this week is an interview all about the EuroLeague,
Which
is
the biggest
so
league
good.
we've never heard of.
which is so good. So I actually looked it up this weekend. Went, oh, EuroLeague final, what happened? And I realised it's the weekend coming.
Something to look forward to.
Thanks, Eliott.
Thanks, Eliott.
Bye.
Bye.